I never know when to change that. But yeah, welcome back to another episode of Lorebound Legends. I am one of your hosts, Daniel. I am joined obviously with Kailyn. Kailyn, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing good
I'm
as
so
always,
excited for lore.
Yeah, right. It's been a bit of a minute, but we're back to get into the next part of the story, I guess, which is the second novel, Whispering Woods by Clayton Emery. This is another one that's not canon, and a lot of the stuff that goes on, and it really, really doesn't make a lot of sense if you kind of know what we're getting at with stuff. So we'll talk a little of the inconsistencies in a bit, but let's jump into just kind of the even what we're reading from the publication may no longer be canonical.
I know, because they've done like a bunch of stuff, right? Well, I feel like if you're like a newer Magic player too, like you've been playing since the inception, basically. So it would be like you would understand the problems with it more than people like me, who it's like I don't know anything about the lore.
Well, it's just so the kind of like we talked about with the last episode. I was going to say last week's, but it was not last week's. With the last episode, the old idea was kind of that you could basically gather enough mana to become a planeswalker, and then it was just like a simple spell that you were going to cast, right?
Yeah, and now it's like
a
spirit stone.
No,
right? No,
not a spirit stone. That's
no,
not a spirit stone.
Well, then tell me.
It's like you're born with a spark, basically,
right.
and that spark ignites during usually
It's a spirit spark.
It's not a spirit. Yeah, it's you're usually kind of forced to ignite the spark, basically.
Yeah,
is the easiest way to
Something
look at
happens, the spark ignites.
Yeah, like a lot of times it's traumatic events and stuff. So
yeah,
again, we're going to grain of salt with this kind of thing. There's going to be just, it is what it is. I found another kind of big write-up of a review, and
cool.
It talks a little bit about the inconsistencies. So we'll go into that. And,
sheesh.
Yeah, I'll link into that. Yeah, I know there's a lot, but yeah, you could start us off with what's going on in the second. Like, who are we dealing with in Whispering Woods?
Okay, so Whispering Woods is the second magic novel, as was said. It is the first of the Greensleeve cycle. So those are like multiple books.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Greensleeves are the people that Garth met.
No, Greensleeves was the sister.
The sister of the
Gull and Greensleeves.
Yes.
Remember?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. They were mentioned in the Garth book, I guess.
Yeah, you get it.
The story arena is referenced, but it's not necessary to understand the plot. But we know that plot, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Gull should have. The plot of the book is Gull should have known better than to take the job, but with his village destroyed and a half-wit sister to look after. That's not very nice. My brother said that about me, I'd be upset. What choice did he have? At least the pay was good. Man.
Mood.
Yeah.
This wizard was even worse than the ones he'd heard about. Between the tavern brawls, the magical battles, and taking care of that strange artifact that turned up, a guy could barely find time to catch his breath. And now, with his sister beginning to gather her wits, Gull has his hands full.
So she's learning.
Yeah, she gets it. She's just a slow learner.
Yeah.
So
aren't we all?
We'll go a little bit into the two main characters before we go into the summary. So, Gull is a human woodcutter with a bad knee. Remember, we talked about this kind of on the last one.
Yep.
There we go. Yes, from North Arona. That's how I'm pronouncing it. On Dominaria, and traveled the plane with his sister Greensleeves, became an experienced fighter against evil wizards. Their town was kind of like ravaged by wizards. Two wizards ended up killing everyone, and that's why him and his like dim-witted, I guess we'll say, sister, like his learning disabled sister, we'll call her. You're simply special. But that's why there's no parents around, and it's Gull and his sister, right?
Yeah, because everyone else is dead.
Yeah. So let's jump in.
He's trying to take care of both of them.
Yeah, right. Let's jump into the lore part of it.
Okay.
You can start us off with the history.
Okay.
So 1 second. There we go. Back to where we are.
With the lore piece. So Whispering Woods, Gull lived peacefully with his sister and his younger brother Sparrowhawk. That's an interesting name. Gull, I guess Gull is a seagull. Is Greensleeves a bird?
Let me find that out quickly.
I must know. I must know now.
Greensleeves bird.
It's a bird.
It is a bird.
Lady Greensleeves. That's what it's called.
It's a really nice looking bird, too.
It's
It's
so
a cool bird.
cute.
Okay, so they all have bird names. None of them are birds.
Who knows?
Important. In fairness, yeah, they could be. Being named after a seagull seems ignorant.
Gull. It's like, oh, thanks. It's like, you're loud. You talk a lot.
Greensleeves, look at this beautiful bird.
Yeah.
And then trash bird.
Yeah, trash bird. Screaming bird. Marn.
Yeah, you get it. You get it.
They lived in the village of White Ridge on the border of Whispering Woods. They lived in the woods. Birds like trees. It's all coming together. Greensleeves was perceived to be dim-witted because she couldn't talk. Oh, she's mute. She only chattered like an animal. That's funny.
That's you. Yeah. One day a falling star was seen in the sky, which was reputed to be a bad omen. I could see that, yep. This was proven.
Or you make a wish.
This was proven true when White Ridge was destroyed during a wizard's duel. So yeah, like we said before, the kind of in the beginning, the wizards were not good. They're not good now, at least, but they're kind of, unified in fighting evils, cosmic evils, for whatever reason they want. But before, they were all just jerks. They were all just kind of dicks. And the fact that they wiped out a village during their duel kind of shows that. It shows a little bit of how the people are. The elders and the children all died, and almost all remaining villagers decided to relocate elsewhere. Obviously, if a fireball blows up your village, that's what I would do.
No, I'm going to try to make it work. That's like people
What's
in
the chance of it happening twice?
Yeah, that's like people in Gotham. There's people who are like, why stay there? Like, your city's been destroyed so many times. It's like being destroyed by all these horrible villains. Why are you still there?
I would simply not hang out with the Joker.
I would simply not live in Gotham after I watched my house get destroyed for the third time.
Yeah, after the Joker kills my parents in acid, I'll tell you right now.
I'm moving.
I'm packing up. I'm calling U-Haul. But so Gull and Greensleeves, Gull's trying to take care of Greensleeves. We will we'll go over to a little bit of basically who Greensleeves is as a person.
Sounds like their brother's dead. Doesn't sound like it's Gull and Greensleeves and Sparrowhawk. It sounds like it's just Gull and Greensleeves.
Well, let's find out about Sparrowhawk quickly.
Sounds like the band lost a member.
Yeah. Creative differences. Sparrowhawk lived peacefully with his brother and sister and his younger brother. They have another brother.
What? What's his name?
I don't know.
Unnamed. Robin.
Yeah, true. It all goes back to Gotham with you.
It wasn't even. I'm talking about a bird.
And his younger brother in the village of White Ridge on the border of Whispering Woods. We get that Greensleeves is dim-witted.
We get it. We understand.
They don't even talk about this other brother.
He doesn't exist, basically.
Yeah. All right. Well. Yeah, this is all about just Greensleeves. Am I only reading
You're
about
reading
Greensleeves?
about Sparrowhawk.
Yeah, Sparrowhawk was a human from northern Arona. He was the younger brother of Gull and Greensleeves. That's where the story ends. You got a name. And at least be happy you got that, because the fourth sibling doesn't even have a name.
It's sad what happened to him, though. He died in a duel. He died during the duel.
Where did you see that?
In the history. You scroll so much. This was proven true, and White Ridge was destroyed after during a wizard's duel, and Sparrowhawk supposedly was killed.
Oh, supposedly. Boom, boom, boom.
Bah, bah, bah.
Yeah, so apparently Sparrowhawk may be alive. All right. The fourth sibling, whatever, they're gone. And then we've got Greensleeves, which is the sister. Also a really cool artwork on the card.
It's really cool. So green.
Yeah. Greensleeves was an archdruid during the modern times on Iona, and briefly a planeswalker. Some spoilers.
She was a slender woman.
Yeah, so dim-witted during her youth. Greensleeves lived peacefully with brother Gull and Sparrowhawk in the village. We know she was perceived to be dim-witted. Yes, one of the dueling wizards, Towser, came to Gull, and after assuring him he had no part in the destruction of the village, asked him to be the new freight master.
What's that? It sounds like they lift things.
Probably just help organize whatever wizards destroyed the town. Maybe they needed it cleared out.
Oh, okay.
So Gull, confused by the mind magic of Towser and with nowhere else to go, accepted his offer and brought Greensleeves along. So they go and work with this wizard Towser, and let's see who Towser is before we get into the story.
Bowser.
Yeah, Towser, definitely not a copyright violation.
This came out in 1994. When did Mario come out?
That we'll never know. Towser was an egotistic wizard interested in astronomy and astrology from Arona. He was the main foe of Greensleeves and Gull. Okay.
Oh, sheesh.
He hired Gull as a member of his traveling crew to tend to livestock and wagons. After he'd gathered a group of wizards who were once defeated by Greensleeve, he forced her via the stone brain to obedience and planned to kill her. A lot of spoilers in this one.
Right. I know you're going so far ahead.
Yeah. So okay, please take us into the summary. I guess we'll talk what's going on in the book then.
Okay, we had the duel. Elders and children die. Greensleeves and Gull they stay behind, and their little brother's gone missing. We don't know if he's dead. Gull finds the centaurs Heike and Holub.
Centaurs.
I said centaurs, didn't I?
You said centers, I think. Hall centers?
I think I meant centaurs.
Yeah, they don't even come up as they're just secondary characters. Okay,
Yeah,
so
they don't
find
matter.
some.
Heike and Holub and the two-headed giant of Forius Lico.
Which is a card, which is cool. By the way, old cards were just trash. This is
bad.
For anyone who plays, it's 4/4 for 5. 4 colorless and a red. It's got trample, can block an additional creature. It's not great stats compared to what they put on now.
Give me Jetmir.
Yeah, you get it.
The only card I know.
Stranded after the battle. So basically, centaurs are stuck. Gull treats them harshly, thinking they're just mercenaries, but they reveal that when a wizard summons them, they are mind controlled to fight for him or her. And this is where we get into one of the main controversies of the story and stuff. It was kind of like they were kind of going the Pokemon way, where the monsters were like captured. Yeah, you get it. Where they were captured and they were basically like summoned, like mind controlled, like slaves. So you'd like summon the creatures. They were real creatures, not spells. And then
interesting.
In the Garth book, for instance, they had like kind of anti. So that's why they like kept like clutching their amulets. The spells were on amulets. So if you won the duel, you'd kind of take the amulet, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and you'd get the spell and kind of lose it, kind of like playing the old ante and stuff. So, long story short, like the way that this book is written doesn't make sense continuity-wise for Magic, because this isn't what it is, right? Like the Helki, Holub, and the two-headed giant being actual people that is just summoned and mind controlled by this wizard. That's not how the story works, right?
So they're characters, not just like.
Yeah, they're like
things that can be summoned.
Yeah, in Magic, for instance, like when you cast a Llanowar elf, it's not that you just like mind control
an elf. Yeah.
a Llanowar elf that you summon from existence and just like keep like in a locked shed, starved somewhere, right? Yeah. Like they're spells. They're not like tangible things, I think. Anyways,
Pokemon is a great analogy for that then too.
Yeah,
it is not like Pokemon. It's not I choose you. Yeah. So.
Yeah. You go ahead while I turn my phone back off, because I'm a professional.
Yes. That evening, one of the wizards, Towser, he comes to Gull, and after assuring he took no part in the destruction of the village, he asks him to be the Freight Master. We know this. Gull is confused by the mind magic of Towser, so now he's also controlled. Bum, bum, bum. And he has nowhere else to go, so he accepts the offer. And Towser, as a token of gratitude, sends the centaurs and the giant back to their home. Oh, how very nice.
But again, if they're saying that they're mind controlled and just summoned to fight, like, then, you know?
Yeah. Then what's like the point?
Yeah,
because he'll just bring them back.
Yeah, go back home.
I brain summon you back to your house until I call you again.
Yeah, right. So the convoy starts its journey. Gull quickly befriends Morven, an old sailor turned bodyguard, and Stigger, the cook's boy.
Cook's boy.
So Morven was one of the bodyguards of
the Wizard Towser.
The Wizard Towser. Morven had gray curly hair and a beard with a wrinkled face, with a face wrinkled as a crab's from squinting into the wind and sun. After 30 years as a sailor, he decided to retire and find a job on land. He became a quick friend of Gull. Yeah, that's where we'll end that part. And then there is the other character, kind of just doesn't matter. The cook's boy doesn't matter, apparently.
He doesn't even really get a section for himself.
Yeah, just simply cook's boy.
Yeah, well, Stigger, he was blessed with a name.
Yeah.
But not much else.
He even falls in love with Lily, one of the dancing girls of the tower. Towser's got strippers? Let's go.
No.
You know what? This guy's all right.
This guy's cool.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the characters in Magic just aren't very good people. Like, we have the wizard who inadvertently wipes the village out, mind controls apparently the special needs, and then has strippers. Like, this guy's kind of got too much going on. Lily was sometimes referred to as Lily the White and a wizard. She was the wife of Gull and eventually has 2
You're
children.
spoiling so many things.
I'm just reading. Lily was born into poverty and prostitution, sold by her mother.
Oof.
Yikes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These wizards are so bad in magic. Apparently, the mothers as well.
She was supposedly hired by Towser to be in his harem.
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
he
right.
hired her because she showed magical prowess, by wearing an amulet that noticed any magic.
So basically,
All
he
right.
was just like she was there to detect magic.
Yeah, and dance.
Yep. And then we have another character here who also doesn't have any backstory, named Kem, another bodyguard. Instead, starts antagonizing the woodcutter. So just I'm gonna bully this orphan. That's makes sense.
And Gull is the woodcutter, right?
Yeah, Gull's the woodcutter.
Okay.
Greensleeves is the
She's there.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of doing nothing, to be honest.
We've gotten like through 2 sections in. We haven't learned anything about them. Oh, she's stupid. She hasn't done anything. Yeah, it's
I'm
been
not
3
calling her
seconds.
dim-witted. She is.
Sounds like you're calling her that still.
No, I don't think so. After a difficult slog through the forest, the wagon train reaches its destination, the place where the star fell. Okay, that's kind of cool. So they went, the star falling, I guess, was probably part of the wizard's duel.
I don't know. I just know it meant it was a bad omen. So maybe that happened,
maybe,
and then the wizards thing happened after.
Looking at this, maybe the wizards came to fight over it.
Oh,
yeah,
true.
The star's revealed by Towser to be a mana vault, which is a great artifact, powerful artifact which can store up mana.
Oh.
Yes, with a real card. And very interesting to know that that's where it's from, is the second book.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's a powerful, like Mana Vault, Mana Crypt. They're both very, very powerhouse magic cards. So it's kind of cool that they have that. During the night, the camp is attacked by another wizard. These guys get no break. Gull manages to save Lily from the clutch of a Black Knight.
Sheesh.
But then the enemy wizard storms the camp to kidnap Lily and Greensleeves.
Oh, sheesh. They taking them women.
Yeah.
Ew, that thing's nasty. He's defeated by a fungusaur, which looks like a big fat fish toad. I don't know what else to say for that. He's a big boy.
Wow. So Fungusaur is whenever it's dealt damage, you put a counter on it. Put the flavor text on it. It's very cool. I love the flavor text, and I'd like to go into that as much as I can too. But it's rather than sheltering her young, the female Fungusaur often injures her own offspring, thereby ensuring their rapid growth.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Those poor little guys.
Yeah.
Better than hamsters. Do you know what hamsters do if they get too stressed?
I don't.
They eat their babies. Like if a mom is too stressed and she just has babies, she'll eat them.
That's not a fun fact at all.
I didn't say it was fun. I said it was a fact.
But it's not a fun fact.
I didn't even say it was a fun fact or a fact.
Why are
Said,
you plagued with this knowledge?
I worked at a pet store, and sometimes
things got real.
Yeah.
In Petco. During the
it's not where I work. Don't see me Petco. I didn't work there. That's not the one I worked at.
You heard it here. Petco's hamsters eat each other.
No.
Cannibal hamsters only at Petco. I don't even know if Petco's a company.
It's all hamsters.
During the battle, Gull saw Helki and Holeb and thinks that the Towser has enslaved them. Okay, so during this battle, again with these fungusaurs, the centaurs show back up. He confronts the wizard, but once again, the mind magic of Towser is enough to appease the woodcutter.
Interesting.
Finally, out of the woods, the convoy stops for the night near a swamp. During the night, though, Kem is kidnapped by some sedge trolls.
Kem is the other guard.
Yeah. So Gull and Greensleeves.
Those are horrible too. That's my posture. It's my posture when I'm at the computer too long.
That's weird card. Weird old cards, and it's fun to see that. Again, it's fun to see that the cards have places in the story from like the kind of more of like the alpha sets and everything like that. Just it's very interesting. And wow, again, flavor text on it. The stench in the hovel was overpowering. Something loathsome was cooking. Occasionally, something surfaced in the thick paste, but my host would casually push it down before I could make out what it was. Yikes. The convoy finally reaches.
That's what people think about me when they haven't seen me for like a week.
True. You're just emerging the troll.
Yeah.
The convoy finally reaches a coastal city. Gull is amazed by the city and the sea and spends the days with Lily and his sister. But his greatest surprise is the discovery that Greensleeves can now talk, since it was the overwhelming magic of the Whispering Woods that clouded her thoughts. What? Yeah, a little sensory overload. We've all been there.
She just went nonverbal?
Yeah, I'm just going to simply go nonverbal for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Greensleeves can now talk a little bit, which is probably pretty wild to, like, we have to assume they're at least teenagers in this. So you know what I mean? You've been around these wizards duels, your brother's being mind controlled, your whole village and parents are dead. You probably have a few things you want to get off your chest.
Yeah. I've been chittering like an animal for like many years.
No wonder, yeah. No wonder you're making those sounds,
Yeah,
right?
I'm trying my best.
Right?
How interesting that like the Whispering Woods made it so she couldn't speak. No one was like, "Hey, maybe we get out sometime."
But that would make sense why why that mana vault ended up going there if it's full of magic in the woods and they're
That's
trying
fair.
to capture it.
I see. That would make sense.
That's again that's just my guess.
I like the guess.
Okay,
It's fair.
please
It's
take
valid.
it away.
One night, the three are kidnapped by Towser's minions. So who's that? That's Gull. Okay, and that's Lily and Greensleeves. And they're kidnapped by Towser's minions. Back at the camp, the wizard reveals his intention to kill Greensleeves and store her power in the mana vault.
Yikes.
All right. I've just learned to talk. Maybe give me some slack for a second here, please. And a riot starts.
What's the word for that? No.
Yeah. No thanks. Riot starts and Towser is forced to teleport away Gull, Morven, and Sigurd. So those are the buddies of Gull.
Okay, yeah. So Towser sends them away somewhere else. Be gone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I can get behind that. The three find themselves on a tropical island. Again, a dual land. So very cool to see that that's, again, reference to the cards, where they meet.
I just thought you were going to say very cool because the tropical island sounds nice. But
where they meet, among others, the centaurs and the giant Liko. It is revealed that the island is where Towser sends his minions when he doesn't need them, and there isn't any way to escape from it.
All right, well, it's still a tropical island. Maybe pull up some coconuts.
So this again brings us into like the controversy of it, because that's not how the cards work, right? Tropical island is simply
You're not stuck
a dual
in your
land.
Pokeball.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The Pokeball is just the dual land. Interesting. What do they eat on this island? You know, it's all fish and coconuts. It's actually a good time.
What if it's like how do you think time passes there? Is it like normal human time, or is it like time stops, or is like time really fast in this little tropical island escape?
I'm just saying, if I've been around like my family dying in wizard battles, a nice tropical island retreat might be nice.
Yeah.
You know, sure, you've got to go and sometimes murder orphans, and you get summoned without any reverence. You're just in the bathroom and suddenly it's battle time. Suddenly people are trying to stomp you, jumping.
Yeah.
That's weird. But yeah, that's some of the problem with the story is this. So again, Gull refuses to surrender and starts organizing the people on the island into a ragtag army until one day he is summoned away. So yeah, that seems, if they're just people, that seems kind of like they would try and rebel a little bit. That makes sense.
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah.
So Gull is summoned away, and he's summoned by Lily, who somehow, unbeknownst to her, is a wizard. I don't know how you wouldn't figure that out at this point, when you're like, oh, I miss my boyfriend, or whatever they're at this point, and then he's there. That's how I just summon you home sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You get it.
Man, Daniel should be home now. And you're like, oh, you're like in this, you're still in a sitting position from driving the semi when I summon you, and you just fall on the floor.
Yeah, just whoop.
That semi's still on the road going.
Yeah.
That would be a little dangerous. Anyway, Towser has tied Greensleeves to an altar, and he's ready to kill her. Sheesh. When Kem changes sides, remembering how Gull saved his life in the bog. That's very nice. I like buddies in stories.
True.
At the same time, Greensleeves, who is revealed to be a wizard, she summoned the Fungusaur.
That's cool.
It's in brackets, but that's very cool. I didn't know that. Started summoning Morven, Stigger, the centaurs, Liko, and all the creatures of the woods who befriended her to fight Towser's minions. See, people are calling her Dimwit. She's talking to the animals. She's got buddies. She's got more buddies than anyone here.
She's made friends, yes.
She has made friends.
Yeah. Liko and all the creatures of the woods they befriended. Towser's a veteran wizard and can control his creatures better than Towser. But is his creatures not the Morven and stuff? Or are they just like fighting a mind control battle? They're just trying to convince them, kill her. No, actually kill him.
Yeah.
She resolves to use an earthquake.
You know. If I must.
Which destroys the cliff they're on and plunges them all into the sea. All right, fair.
A tsunami.
Yep.
Which is then caused by the earthquake is coming. This sounds like a very dangerous world. I would pack up and move away from any people that were like, I'm a wizard. I'd be like, all right, time to move
Accidental earthquake.
Yeah. Well, no. She resolved. She's like, I guess I'll use an earthquake. The tsunami from the earthquake, I would say, is accidental, but sheesh. So Towser escapes with his flight spell, and then Gull, Greensleeves, and Stigger escape from the huge wave, taking refuge to crack in the cliffside, while Morven and Quem are swept away into the sea, which sucks because it's like, oh, we're here to help you. And then it's just like, all right, all my animal friends and everything. Figure it out yourself.
After the water settled, they find Lily, the centaurs, and Liko have all survived.
Okay, good.
Gull and his friends vow to form an army to fight Towser, who Gull has realized is the wizard who killed his family, and all the wizards who see people as mindless pawns.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So
get wrecked.
So not horrible. So now we can go back into.
Is that the whole book?
That's basically the premise of book 1. Is that?
Sheesh.
But
they leave on a little cliffhanger.
So with Morven and stuff, Morven's one of the bodyguards, and I knew this was spoiler stuff, so I can talk a little bit about it now. After being summoned back by Greensleeves, he helped the girl and her brother in a decisive battle against Towser.
Yep.
Morven, as a sailor, was the first to notice the signs of an approaching tsunami and urged Gull, Greensleeves, Kem, and Stigger to find refuge inside a crack in the cliffside. Realizing there wasn't enough space for him, he told Greensleeves to block the crack's entrance with a wall of brambles and remained outside, sacrificing his life to the raging sea.
What the heck?
Yeah, so...
What a nice little buddy.
Yeah, so Kem gave himself away. Yeah.
Not Kem. Mauser.
Oh, sorry.
Morven?
Morven, yeah.
Morven.
But I think Kem also died there. Is that what it said as well?
No, it says that Kem was saved. It said he's... Oh, wait, no. No, yeah. Morven and Kem.
Yeah, Morven and
Goodbye.
Kem.
Yeah. Kem didn't get to have a choice, though.
Yeah. Kem doesn't get a backstory. You think Kem was choosing?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so again, kind of the second book goes into just them doing their doing their best to break free of this wizard's control, kind of figure it out. It also introduces
I have a pun for you.
Please.
I've been waiting, but your sentence has kept going on, but I want to say it before I forget. And before it gets too far that it's not relevant anymore.
We'll get to it.
Kem is like stuck, and he's kind of like on this like little rock in the middle of the sea, and he's just like, man, like I'm still alive. Kem, save me. Anyway, that's it.
That was not worth interrupting the flow. Kailyn, flow ruiner.
No, it had to happen.
So
I was waiting.
Like I was saying, wow, that really derailed things. The entirety of the book is based on like this mind control idea, which is not how any of it works, right? And like Towser probably trying to collect the mana is probably also trying to become like the planeswalker thing.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go over to this is just a kind of a nice review and stuff that I read. So it was very, very interesting. They cover some of the better things. I'll link it in the description. Over the course of the travels, Gull starts to question Towser, as we know. And Towser claimed to have sent those things back. As it turns out, Towser's been the one who called the pestilence that killed Gull's family. So pestilence is the initial skill, which is like a black plague.
I was going to say, is this like a plague or something? Sheesh.
And those creatures he promised to send home, the tropical island functions as a place where Towser can dump the creatures he might later need in battle.
Oh, so he was like, yeah, I sent them home. It's fine.
Yeah.
But he was just like, haha, back to their home on my tropical island.
Yeah, so we get goal sets about training the people and the monsters there, hoping that one day they'll be able to overcome Towser's mind control after he's summoned. A few days later, he himself is summoned, not by Towser, though, but Lily. Towser was gathering potential wizards to sacrifice and drain their power, and both Lily and Greensleeves have that potential. Cue a massive battle, culminating in a tsunami in which Towser disappears. Gull and Greensleeves are once again wandering the destruction left behind by a magical duel. Along with Lily and some of the other survivors, they form a giant army, and that's where we continue into book 2.
Womp, womp, womp.
So They go on with a little bit of a review and stuff, but they had a few cool parts. So the trivia is the first, like in the trivia section of it, the book is the first place to mention that Dominaria has 2 moons, the Glimmer Moon and the Mist Moon. And I actually didn't know that Dominaria does. It's one of my favorite planes, and I just never knew. There wasn't
never knew that there was 2 moons, or never knew that this is where it came from.
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, at least there was no reference in Arena. And Greensleeves was just something that just got a card. So Greensleeves is very kind of topical at the moment. It makes Badgers a very fun commander. I'm also tempted. They said that they're also tempted to reread the books and see things throughout the Greensleeve cycles. Though there's many references to cards, often legendary creatures from legends that are often used. So this is where the continuity stuff. So they say all the time, like by the Throne of Bone, in Chatsuk's name, by the scars of Skarzim, or best of all, Urza's Utters. It's quite fun, but unfortunately, Urza's Utters is a hilarious thing, by the way. It sounds so mean.
I know Urza, but I don't know. I can't remember.
You do know Urza. Urza's a big character.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite fun, but unfortunately, these references will later cause some continuity issues. The only problem in this book is a reference to Barktooth Warbeard, who shouldn't have been born yet around the time that it takes place.
Interesting.
Yeah. And there's also an interesting reference to Neptune in the book, which is like a human place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'll let you read some of
It's not a character. It's like a place.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'll let you read some of the continuity problems here.
Okay. Could you make it a little bigger for me?
Oh, 1 second. It says, make it a little bigger. Yes. Okay. Yeah. It says quickly that they talk about Garth and the color pie, and they'll briefly talk about Greensleeves
and the
or
color
Gull.
pie. Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, like where
what?
Garth fits in.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Gull's
it's 'cause
color
there's 5
seems very
colors.
clear. He just wants to live out his life in a forest village, just like his parents before him. He's very reactive, only acting when something or someone stands in his way. That all points to like a green, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know the green
I'll
pie.
take your word for it. Yeah, the green pie.
A nice illustration of Gull's nature happens just after the destruction of his village. He stumbles upon a 2-headed giant who was summoned by one of the wizards. At the time, he doesn't know for sure that the giant was forced to fight, but the moment he sees a Sengir vampire feed on the injured giant, he grabs his axe and charges.
Oh, sheesh.
Something dead parasiting on the living is just wrong in his eyes. This alone is
Sheesh.
green sentiment, and so is acting on instinct, which is exactly what he's doing here.
So it like doesn't really matter like who is in trouble, but he's like, I'm gonna stand up against your bully.
And again,
or
they
whatever.
just lost his parents. But yeah, so
That's fair.
You can take away a little bit of the continuity here.
Okay. Saying that we shouldn't hold it against these books, the portrayal is a bit different. Makes sense because this was like 1994. This one came out. Still, if we want them to fit with the continuity, there are some issues. For starters, summoning here is not shown as creating summons from ether, but as teleporting someone over to you and enslaving their mind. Interesting. That injustice is actually the driving force behind the plot of the entire trilogy. Okay. Also, people in this book have to operate under the same assumption as those in Arena when it comes to being a planeswalker. You just need to gather enough power. The summoning issue will be the continuing problem through this canon. It can only be resolved by saying some wizards summon actual creatures while others create beings from the ether. And then all the wizards in North Arona do the former. And the planeswalker issues that will be discussed in the Final Sacrifice review.
So one of the other books, yeah.
Okay.
Greensleeves eventually becomes a planeswalker, so I assume it brings up that as well.
Spoilers.
Yeah, if we look at what continuity there was a reference to the time, Whispering Woods is a lot less problematic. We get a reference to Arena, with Lily mentioning the city of Estark in the west, which isn't really where it ended up on later maps on the continent. But hey, no one said Lily was a geography expert.
Yeah, that's fair.
She also now mentions how wizards have odd ways of casting spells, thus explaining why Towser and the like don't use amulets. Later in the trilogy, we will see wizards fumble with the mementos whenever they cast spells, implying the amulets in Arena are simply memory aids.
Oh, interesting. So you don't need them, but they use them. Oh, okay.
The odd thing about the continuity here is that a tropical island, they run into ant people. In the following book, we learn that these are Yoshin soldiers.
What?
Now that the comparisons have been made, I could see how you could make the original art of Yoshin soldier for an ant, but that wasn't the intention. Also, the Yoshin soldiers were created by Urza 4,000 years earlier than this story.
Urza's udders.
On a different continent, yeah. I guess that means it's now part of the canon that a bunch of Yoshin soldiers survived the Brothers' War and wandered dominant area for like 4,000 years. Presumably repairing and rebuilding itself, they began to resemble humanoid ants. Pretty cool.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of like this one will be shorter and stuff, which I'm totally fine with. But again, because we have these older characters just don't have the backstory of like these huge block sets yet, right? They weren't really able to be around, so we're kind of sparing, right? The book is what the book is. There's only so much, whereas current lore is like we get like a huge written out story, we get
huge
hundreds of cards
and,
of flavor text and spoilers, and
there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people, a lot of characters,
and
each
a
doing
team
their
of
own
writers,
little adventures. Yeah.
So that makes the continuity of these a little harder, especially with so many different writers.
Well, and how do you know where you want to go with the series?
Well, the game
like
itself,
that so long,
right?
Yeah. Like it's been so many years. Like I'm sure if you started writing a book now and then 30 years someone else was picking it up and they're like, I don't really know about this. It would change.
This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, in the continuity of what Daniel was going for, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
unless you've planned the whole thing out and
I'm the mastermind.
Yeah. You've been 8 steps ahead.
Yeah, so there's, like I said, there's going to be some that are just like huge long episodes, like the block sets, because there's so much and so many characters. But this one we kind of only have like sparing characters, and
well, and it's like one book out of how many are there in this series? Like 3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 in this trilogy.
Yeah, so it's like they're like, okay, maybe there's like shorter books, but there's 3 of them to go through.
Really quickly, I want to see. I don't think Gull has been on a card yet.
What?
Yeah.
Screw you, Gull.
Yeah, no Gull yet. No depiction.
I'm going to put a seagull on a card and make my own flavor text, and it's going to... There you go.
Yeah, referenced a lot, but not in an
What?
actual card.
That's crazy. How interesting.
Yeah, a lot of these old Planeswalkers. That's why it's so cool that they did the... I believe it was Modern Horizons or something. One of the sets, they brought all of these old legends kind of back to life. Like, that's where Greensleeves finally got a card. That's where Gaedrone got one. Dakin Blackblade, lots of those.
Ooh, I want to see her card. It's got octopus. Oh,
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, Gaedrone's a cool character. I think you'll like Gaedrone.
Yeah.
Gaedrone. But yeah, there's it was Dominaria United that was the set. Maybe, yeah. Again, it was weird where all of these creatures. Yes, okay, Dominaria United was a set in the past, kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay. How many books are they still writing books?
I don't know if there's any Magic novels. I'll quickly check that before we wrap it up here.
Because I feel like they're pretty focused on just the cards telling the story now instead of...
They write the story for everything nonstop, like in the cards.
Yeah.
So they, to be honest, there's a lot of books. Cycle novels. Yeah.
Oh, cycle. Okay.
So
Because I was like, it looks like they're done in 1996. Nope.
Okay, so
When did they start? When's the first book?
1 second. The first book is 94.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was Arena, Whispering Woods, Shattered Chains, Final Sacrifice,
Those are
which
the
is
Whispering Woods guys.
Yep. Then Cursed Land, Prodigal Sorcerer, Ash of the Sun, Song of Time, Peace and Sleep, Dark Legacy. Those are the non-cycle books published by Harper Fantasy. Then Wizards of the Coast takes over, and
sheesh. Okay.
yikes, we get a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I keep being like, oh, look, the last book was 2008, but then there's like, here's another subsection of books.
08, 2010, 2019, War of the Spark, Raven, other novels.
There's a book 2020.
Connected without it. Yeah, so there's lots of like book novellas, anthologies. They just have kept the story going.
It sure looks like 2020 was the last year a book has been published.
But
so far, who knows?
But these ones from 94 to 96, when they wrote, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think 10 novels.
Yeah.
10 novels in a 2-year span is obviously going to be disjointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially
did Wizards like take these books in under their wing when they started, or like when did Wizards start?
Yeah, Wizards, when they did that, they kind of, that's why they're not canon. But these are really short books too, right?
Yeah.
Arena's 297 pages, Whispering Woods only 294, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we see the other things like Brothers War immediately jumps up to 400, like they're all 100 pages longer.
Yeah.
So.
Sheesh.
Yeah. For my last little thing, I guess, non-cycle books, the original 10 books were deliberately not numbered as a marketing concern. The publishers thought people might shy away from a multi-book series.
That's fair.
Wrong. Some stories are connected, some not. The heroes of Arena, Garth, and Raquel appear in Shattered Chains, which is the second one.
The third?
The books,
the second book. Yeah.
The books Whispering Woods, Shattering Chains, and Final Sacrifice are known as the Whispering Woods Trilogy or Greensleeves. And then the rest the rest are all, well, Greensleeves is a Planeswalker, right?
Yeah, but
Gull's just chasing strippers.
Fair.
Right?
Yeah.
Chasing strippers and trash.
She's also a wizard, so.
Wizard strippers, in fairness. Yeah. Let's not be crazy. But yeah, so there's like I said, there's not as much in the way of these old characters, and it's kind of a shame. I hope they like I said, we got a lot of the old, it must have been Modern Horizons where they did what set is Dakin Blackblade from? I know it's not Dominaria United. Dominaria United, they went back in the past a little bit to talk about it, but where was Dakin as a card? Sorry for this.
He has to find. This is the lore is needed. The hyperfixation.
Dakin Blackblade Planeswalker.
That's a crazy name, Dakin Blackblade.
Dakin
10 times fast.
Dakin's story is wild. Yeah, it's okay.
Blackblade.
It looks like it's Modern Horizons.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to you soon.
Yeah, well, yeah, eventually. Dakin stories. Yeah, there's not many good people in Magic. They're all bad guys.
He doesn't look like he's good. He looks so scary. He looks mean.
I think he's the hero of his story.
What?
Yeah. But yeah, so
also was Garth, and didn't Garth kill like genocide like villages.
Sometimes you genocide a few villages
Sometimes you gotta
in
murder.
response to your wizard house being destroyed.
Yeah.
I get who hasn't been there.
Me, you,
Mm,
literally anyone I think that I've ever met.
mm.
Mm.
Expand your circle. No, I think that I'm happy to kind of wrap up our stuff there. Like I said, this one's going to be a little shorter. They're all going to be a little shorter until we get the rest of like the books upgraded. So
Yeah, but as we've said, like we'll go through all of them, and yeah, we'll just have some shorter books, and then we'll get into very long books, and then we'll wish for the shorter ones again.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for listening. There will be, I should get some outro music for this, but again, check out our
I'll do it.
YouTube stuff. Yeah, there you go.
Bam, bam, bam. Keep talking.
Oh, you're just going to background music
Yeah.
again. Okay. Yeah, so check out our YouTube. We're going to be doing lots more things. It'll be more organized, but thanks for bearing with us with the little break. We should be back on a normal schedule now. And yeah.
Which I think is every 2 weeks.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. We'll figure it out. Every
Yeah.
2 weeks, every week. We'll figure it out.
Come and check in. We'll probably be still posting stuff online, though.
Yeah. You mean recording every 2 weeks. I mean posting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you'll figure
posting
it out.
Well, yeah.
We'll get it sorted. The schedule's there.
Cut it.
Yeah. Cut the tape.
Stop.
Yeah, we're prepared and professional. Thank you so much for listening, and like, share, subscribe. It does really, really help us out. Tell your friends and tell us what story you want us to get to. We will, because again, we're not bound to doing it in Lorebound. We're not bound to doing it in order.
Funny.
Thank you.
Dumb, it took me a second. I'm Greensleeves in the Whispering Woods.
Yeah, you chatter. But yeah, so thank you guys very much again for listening, and I will now cut Shaw.